Hi, how are you? My name is Pete, and in this quick video I'm gonna show you two different ways of transporting your tamed animals to the other parts of the map. So before we start, I just want to say that those two methods only really apply to boars and wolves. I didn't find a good way of transporting logs as they're just way too heavy for that method to work. So let's go over the things you need first. Well, definitely you need a boat. Any boat will do as long as it's bigger than the raft. And then you need a food that will give you the most amount of stamina. You don't have to have a food that I do here. However, go with the food that you have access to that will give you the most amount of stamina. Now, next thing, you want to build a ramp onto your boat. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same way as mine, but it has to lead on top of your boat. And as you can see, I have those walls on the sides here, which will help me pull the animal onto the boat. And the last very important thing you need is the harpoon. So the way you do that, firstly, if you have more than one animal, you want to separate them first to make your life easier. So I'm just going to separate that one boar here, and then you want to harpoon him. Once you have him harpooned, all you need to do is drag him onto the boat. Now pay attention to your stamina. That's where your stamina comes in. Every time you pull the boar, it will cost you your stamina. Now eventually you will be able to succeed. It does take a while, and you can't really lose the boar, because you can't really harpoon him again unless you have like 1 or 2 star boar, which they have more health. But as you can see, after harpooning, the health drops down pretty much to half. So if you harpoon him again, you will just basically kill him. And then eventually you will get him on your boat. Now with the wolves is a little bit easier, because once you pet the wolf will follow you. However, the wolf won't follow you on top of the ship. So all you gotta do is bring him on the top of the ramp, and then just harpoon him and drop down onto your ship. So you can pretty much put as many animals as you want. However, the more animals you have on it, the more you're risking of them sliding off of the boat. So keep that in mind. Now, 2 more things I forgot to mention earlier, but of course make sure that you're rested, so that will also affect your stamina level. And on top of it, make sure you try to avoid the ocean biome, because the last thing you need is for the serpent to spawn and attack your boat when you're trying to transport your animals. Now once you get to your destination, the process is pretty easy. You do everything in reverse, although you don't need the ramp anymore. So you harpoon your boar, and you just bring him to his new enclosure. As you can see, the wolf is pretty easy because he will just follow you. However, the boar is not so easy. So what I normally do, I jump over the fence, pull him in, and then just wait a little bit, because I've noticed if you go straight away back and try to close the enclosure, the boar will pretty quickly try to run away from you. However, if you wait a couple of seconds, he will get tired or something, I don't know, but he's not that quick to run away from you anymore. And you just jump back into the enclosure and just close it. That's it. So let me show you the second way. So the second way, you pretty much need the same stuff for it. Make sure you're rested, get the good food that gives you a lot of stamina. But I would also recommend you get yourself the medium stamina meat, because you're gonna lose an awful lot more stamina in this way. However, this way is pretty much fail proof. I never lost a single animal doing it this way. So the beginning is pretty much exactly the same. You bring your animal to the shore, you harpoon him, but instead of using the ramp, you just jump directly onto the boat. And yes, the animal won't follow you. However, that doesn't matter, because you're just gonna swim away and you will drag the animal behind you. Of course, as I mentioned before, try to stick to the coastline, because you don't wanna meet the serpent when you're transporting your animals. However, as I mentioned before, that method will cost you way more stamina. As you can see by my stamina bar, it's already halfway down and I'm nowhere near the destination. So to gain the stamina back, there's 2 ways you can do that. The first way, the most obvious way, is just to use the stamina meat. So as you can see here, my stamina bar filled up completely. But let me show you what to do if you don't have access to stamina meat. Well, all you gotta do then is just putting your ship into reverse and wait a little bit. And as you can see, my bar starts gaining up. Sometimes if it doesn't, you want to stand up in the boat and get close to the animal. That way the line isn't tense and you gain all the stamina back. And you can jump in back onto the ship and start sailing away with the full stamina bar. So I hope you learned something useful. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.